You're watching HCAM TV.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Hopkinton Hangout Hour. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, and today we are talking some sports. We'll talk some MIAA sports, what's going to happen in the fall with high school sports, and we'll talk some pro sports today as well. So for the next hour, sit back, relax, enjoy some great sports conversation. Joining me is my co-host, Mike Terosian. Mike, how are you?
Doing great, Tom. How are we doing today?
I'm doing excellent.
I see I'm ready for some sports right now. Let's go.
Absolutely. Love the
Let's
back.
do this.
And we got Andy Barron with us from MyFM 101.3. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. How about yourself? Good to see you.
Doing well. Good to see you as well. And we have Jared Keene from the Metro West Daily News. Jared, how are you?
I'm good, Tom. How you doing, man?
Can't complain. Can't complain.
Good to be back on.
Absolutely. So before we get into the current topics, I want a little insight from you, Jared. What are some of the things that you've been covering throughout the summer and as of late?
Obviously there was some summer baseball. We had some Ashland Sevens, and it's good to see them take down the title. Obviously, I wasn't at the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't get that one, but it was good to see them finish off the job, and
the summer baseball was just terrific this year. That's for sure. And
they had a great season too. And not much obviously since that's wrapped up. Obviously, just been waiting to hear about the different things, what's going on and in the fall and everything, and kind of what's being moved to what, and that obviously kind of transitions us into probably the first talking point here.
It certainly does. But first, Andy, congratulations to you. I understand you're on the MyFM Sports Buzz, doing some sports talk every Saturday. How's everything going with the Sports Buzz?
Everything's going really well, Tom. It's been great working with Tim Cowett and also with Craig D'Alessandro. Of course, Matt Romling, wishing him well out in California right now. So surfs up for Matt out there. I hope he's doing well out there. I worked with him for 16 years. I'm also working covering for Ray Ozier next week on MyFM in the morning from September 8th through the 11th. So you can hear me from 5:30 to 9 a.m. as well. And we will be at Imperial Cars in Mendon this Saturday. The Sports Buzz will be live. It'll be myself and John Wilbur will be there. So that should be a nice broadcast. It's going to be a beautiful day. So come on down to the little town of Mendon, where if you test drive a car this weekend, gentlemen.
All right. That's good. Can't do any company promotion.
Okay.
All right.
Come on down. Sorry about that.
Anyways, all right. So let's get right into it. We'll talk some MIAA to start things off. And as you all know, this year there's going to be 4 seasons for the MIAA. We have the fall sports season, which as of right now, it's going to be boys and girls soccer, fall gymnastics, boys and girls cross country, field hockey, girls volleyball, swimming and diving, golf and dance. And then we have the winter sports season, which is the pretty standard winter sports season. We'll have boys and girls basketball, boys and girls hockey, wrestling, winter gymnastics, boys and girls indoor track and field, alpine ski, Nordic ski, winter cheer, dance, swim, and dive. And then we have a floating season that was inserted from February 22nd to April 25th. And football, due to the fact that it's really a close proximity sport, they moved it to that floating season, hoping that they won't have to make too many adjustments to the rules and they could still play pretty normally. They have fall cheer, unified basketball, and many leagues throughout Massachusetts, including the Hockomock and most likely the TVL, will be moving girls volleyball to that floating season as well, as many schools found that there were just way too many rule adjustments to try to play volleyball normally if they kept it in the fall. And then you have your spring season with baseball, softball, boys and girls lacrosse, boys and girls tennis, boys volleyball, boys, girls, and mixed outdoor track and field, rugby, sailing, girls golf, crew, and other sports. So, guys, it's going to be a 4-season sports year. And obviously, it's a little different with football moving to that floating season and most likely girls volleyball in many leagues as well. What's your take on this schedule that was created by the MIAA? I think they did a good job at trying to keep all the sports going with pretty normal rules for the most part. Jared, you could start off.
I, you know, I think, they did what they had to do. I think they've handled this pretty well for the most part. I think, I think as much as people want to see football being played in the fall, it's probably in the best interest to have it be played kind of in this weird season, even though that's kind of still a weird time, to obviously be playing football. Not many people obviously would think of football starting in February, but, and then you get a sport like girls volleyball, obviously, where, just because kind of seemed like there was so many variants in sort of what you would kind of have to do and sort of these different rule changes that I think they probably did the right thing in moving that to a later season. I know there's obviously been some talk with soccer as well this fall, a lot of, weird kind of rule changes in soccer. That's going to be
and we'll be
dicey.
Talking more about that because there are some really interesting rule changes.
Really, really dicey. But I just kind of feel like they're doing what they have to do, and
well, I'll tell
obviously everybody wants to get some sports being played, but you also kind of make sure to look out for the safety of kids, coaches, ADs, everything. So, yeah, I mean, again, for the most part, I agree with you, Tom. I think they've handled it, relatively well.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, trying to get all these sports in is tough, especially with the guidelines that were released. And I think really the mission is by that fall sports 2 season, they're hoping that a lot of those guidelines will be lifted or lessened so they won't have to change rules to these sports. Andy, what's your take on this MIA schedule? I'd imagine you have pretty similar feelings towards this, such as Jared and I, that they're just really trying to get everything in here.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Jared made some great points there. Look, this is something that we've never had to experience before, and I think we all agree that football was not going to be played this fall. I think we were all in agreement with that. Looking at this a little bit deeper, as you know, I did Milford Independent Baseball this year with my FM, and I can honestly tell you that I was a little surprised that baseball and softball were not moved to the fall, because I think it can be played safely. And especially in the spring, you know how bad the weather gets in the spring with baseball. There's cancellations galore all the time.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree. Look, they're doing the best they can with it. Obviously, we are in unprecedented times right now, and nobody really knows. I think we're all just kind of playing the waiting game here. Athletics aren't supposed to start now till September 18th. It seems like it's an eternity away, because who knows